Today I want to talk about some music theory out there. And if you play guitar or piano, you probably heard of the 1, 4, and 5, 7 before. And if you notice, these are Roman numerals, and you probably hear musicians all the time. Well, okay, it's in the key of A, 1, 4, 5, 7. And you think, well, what does this mean? Well, let me explain a little bit like that. We'll start off with the key of C, even though it's not such a great guitar key to play in, but on piano it's fine. And you can apply it to C, you can apply it to other keys as well. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off on the key of C there. No sharps or flats in there. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just write out the scale. So we got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. These are the notes that are in a major scale in the key of C. Now, if I were to go through here and harmonize the chords, and I'll just put it out here, I'll write that down here, is that basically the one chord in the key of C is going to be C, the C chord. And I'll do another video, or you can find another video online that talks about how to build triads. Basically, every 3 notes I go up, I make a triad. If I had my guitar here, I can play each note at a time, C, E, G, and find out the notes of the triad. So I'm going to label that with a Roman numeral 1, and that's what we use in theory is Roman numerals. All right, the 4 chord, and that's 4 away from it. So we look here, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, for those that don't read music very well. So I count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 chord is going to be the F chord. So I'll start off with F, A, C. I'm building triads, and I'm going to call that the 4 chord there. Okay? The 5 chord, or the 5, 7 chord, which I'm going to use today, is count 5 away from C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 away from C, so it's going to be a G. And because it's a 7 chord, that's a special, instead of having 3 notes, like a triad, it's going to have 4 notes in it. And so I'll just go up another third there. So I'm going to spell these out here in case you can't read music very well. Is that a C chord is basically C, E, G, and then the F chord is F, A, C, and the G7 chord is G, B, D, F. So these are the notes that are in the key of C. These are triads. And the thing that's great about the 1, 4, and 5, 7 is that I can harmonize any note in the key of C with one of these 3 chords. Let's do this. Here's C. Well, which chord has a C in it? C chord. So I'm going to label that as a 1 chord here. Tell you what, I'll write it real small right there. It's going to be a 1 chord. Is there another chord that has a C in it? That's right, an F chord does. So I can harmonize the C note with either a 1 or a 4. How about D? One choice, right? The 5, 7. E, one choice. It's going to be the 1. The F, I actually got 2 choices. It's going to be the 4 chord and also the 5, 7 chord as well. G, I got 2 choices, either the 1 or the 5, 7. A, got 1 choice, it's the 4. B, got 1 choice, it's the 5, 7. And then C repeats. I'll just put it up here again, even though I really don't need to write it again. So here, this proves that in the key of C, I can harmonize any chords with these 3 chords. And that's why in country music and folk music and rock and roll music, that 1, 4, and 5, 7 is very useful in a lot of ways. So this is the basic parts of understanding the 1, 4, and 5, 7. And let's go to the piano and see how this actually sounds. All right, so here I'm at the piano. And here's the 1 chord, which is the C chord, the 4 chord, which is F, and the 5, 7 chord, which is the G7 chord. So 1 is C, 4 is the F chord, and then the 5, 7 is the G7 in the key of C. In other keys, of course, there's going to be different ones. So here's the C scale, which I'm sure you all have heard. So now, using that chart I just had a minute ago, all right, here's C. So the 1 chord, or the 4 chord goes with that. D, the 5, 7 chord goes with that. E, the 1 chord. F, either the 4 chord or the 5, 7 chord goes with that. G, the 1 chord or the 5, 7 chord. A, the 4 chord. B, the 5, 7. And finally C, which is either the 1 chord or the 4 chord again. So now we hear that it actually does work. And that's why when you hear the rock and rollers doing the do some boogie woogie, I'll do it in the key of C. And of course, blues music uses the 1, 4, and 5, 7 all the time as well. So hopefully that makes things a little bit more clear about 1, 4, and 5, 7. And of course, I can do that in all 12 keys very easily. And basically what you do is this, is that you take your key, let's say A. What's 4 away from A? A is going to be 1. What's 4 away from A? A, B, C, really C sharp, D. It's going to be 4. And then what's 5 away from A? A, B, C sharp, D, E. And so in the key of A, it's going to be A. It's going to be 1, the 4 chord is going to be D, and the 5 chord, or the 5, 7 is going to be E7. And so let's do one more. Let's do the key of G. G is going to be the 1 chord, right? What's 4 away from G? G, A, B, C. So it's going to be C chord. And what's 5 away from G? G, A, B, C, D. 5, 7. So if I'm going to play the key of G, so that's how it works. And you can do that for all the keys, whether you play guitar or piano or any of the chord instruments. Rock and roll.